Whenever we try to move an object, there's a force that resists this movement. This force is called friction. Imagine you're pushing a heavy box across the floor. What makes it difficult? The force of friction between the box and the floor tries to stop the motion. Without friction, the box would keep sliding forever. But thanks to friction, it slows down and eventually stops. Friction is a force that occurs when two surfaces come into contact. Even though objects may look smooth, if we zoom in, we'll see tiny bumps and roughness on both surfaces. These microscopic irregularities rub against each other, creating resistance. That resistance is what we feel as friction. Friction can be classified into four main types, each playing an important role in our everyday lives. First, we have static friction. Static friction is the force that keeps an object at rest, preventing it from moving. It's the friction you need to overcome to get an object moving. The object remains stationary until the applied force becomes greater than the static friction. Once the applied force exceeds static friction, the object starts to move. When the object is in motion, static friction is replaced by sliding friction. Sliding friction acts between two surfaces sliding past each other. Sliding friction is weaker than static friction, which is why it's easier to keep an object moving once it's started. We encounter sliding friction when we write with a pen, skate, or even when we slide a book across a table. Next, we have rolling friction. This occurs when an object rolls over a surface, like wheels on a road or a ball on the ground. Rolling friction is much smaller than sliding friction, which is why it's easier to push a cart with wheels than to drag a heavy box. That's why we use wheels in vehicles and machines. Finally, we have fluid friction, also known as drag. This type of friction occurs when an object moves through a fluid, like water or air. When you swim, fluid friction slows you down. Airplanes experience air resistance as they fly. Even cars face air friction, which engineers try to reduce by designing smooth and aerodynamic shapes. Factors affecting friction. The amount of friction depends on several factors. First, the roughness of the surfaces. The rougher the surface, the greater the friction. Second, the force pressing the surfaces together. Heavier objects experience more friction because they press harder against the surface. That's why a heavy object is harder to push than a light one. Advantages and disadvantages of friction. Friction is both useful and sometimes a nuisance. Friction helps us walk, allows us to stop vehicles, and prevents objects from slipping out of our hands. However, friction also causes wear and tear, produces heat, and reduces the efficiency of machines. Reducing friction. To reduce friction, we can use lubricants like oil or grease, make surfaces smoother, or add wheels. These methods make moving objects easier and help machines work better. Friction is everywhere, playing an essential role in our daily lives. Whether it's walking, driving, or even enjoying a slide at the park, friction is constantly working in the background. Understanding friction helps us design better tools, vehicles, and technologies that make our lives easier. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more educational content.